In this video, I'm going to be teaching you about the 4 easy and simple business paths you need to know. Now, I teach these 4 paths to all my students and I have them pick one to start with. I use these 4 paths in my first business at Jazz Piano School, and I'm going to be using these 4 paths in this business as well. When you know these paths, you can confidently step forward and have an organized plan to follow to make sure you're successful. My name is Brendan Lowe, creator and founder of the Creative Freedom Podcast and Creative Freedom Academy. Go to brendanlowe.com/4 and the word paths to get my free 4 paths resource guide. I'm saying 4 paths a lot. 4 paths resource guide that goes along with this particular episode. Brendan Lowe, BrendanLowe.com/4 and the word paths. This is a great free resource I put together for you that's going to accompany this episode. With that being said, let's dive right in. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Creative Freedom Podcast. My name is Brendan Lowe. I'm your host as always. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is going to be episode number 2. And in this episode, as you probably saw or you might have heard, I'm going to be going over the 4 paths, the 4 different paths that you can use to start a business, make income that can support you in your life and completely transform your life. Gain freedom, gain time, and honestly, just allow you to pursue the passion that you're looking for. So, super happy to be doing this. This is really exciting for me. If you didn't hear in the last episode, definitely go check that out. But I've recorded many of these episodes already, and I scrapped them all. And they are on my website, brendanlowe.com. You can go check them out. But essentially, I've just wanted to keep them because I want to demonstrate to all of you what starting a business is like, what it takes to do it, and the real just turmoils and plateaus and doubts and concerns that everyone goes through, even me. Even since starting my first business, Jazz Piano School, 9 to 10 years ago, starting this one, it's still a constant grind. It never, ever it is just a straight line. It's always a zigzag. And so that's really why I wanted to keep a lot of those podcasts available for you all to listen to, because you can hear my journey. You can kind of hear everything that I'm going for. And I finally landed on a really, the decision that I want to make for this particular business, which is essentially under my branded name, brendanlowe.com, and my name, because I want to be doing a lot of different things with this. And so at first I thought I wanted under Creative Freedom Academy and so on and so forth. I'm still keeping that branding, but that's going to be for the people who want extra coaching from me, my courses, my membership, so on and so forth. If you are listening to that, that's not released just yet. But if you go to brendanlowe.com/4 paths and you get this amazing free resource I'm about to go over today, you'll actually get on my email list and you can get more information about all of the upcoming things that I'm going to be doing, the coaching, the membership, the courses that I'll be creating. So you can always stay informed there. But again, thank you so much. If you do enjoy this podcast, you can find this at YouTube, on YouTube at youtube.com/Brendan Lowe, or you can just go to my website, brendanlowe.com. You can also listen on iTunes. I'd really appreciate a 5-star review, and it helps others find the podcast. So anyway, let's dive in. The 4 paths is my philosophy to business, and it's really what's jump-started everything in my first business at jazzpianoschool.com. And I've come to these 4 paths, again, through just almost a decade of learning, educating myself, going to courses, buying, business classes, business courses. I said that already. I'm trying to think of the word, not master classes. I'm thinking in terms of a musician right now. Like conferences, right? I've gone to a lot of business conferences, read so many books. I have full bookcase back here to my right, to my left, of just business books. But essentially, I've collected and put together from my own educational system, right, which is going to be displayed and available inside the Creative Freedom Academy, which I'm currently building right now, these 4 paths. And it's broken down into very simple paths that you can choose to start to move forward in your business. And when I say business, I just want to kind of step back for just for 1 second. People think about business or used to, or you might be thinking about it in terms of like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Nike, like these huge corporations, right? I really want to try and reframe that word because, utilizing the word business these days, today, right, in this world can mean sitting right here in your office and filming a video, filming a podcast. It can mean developing a course, right? In a couple months, I'm going to be releasing a new course in jazz piano school on jazz piano voicings. And a couple months ago, before that, about three months ago, I released a course on improvisation, right? And I've had lots of courses. Obviously, Jazz Piano School has been running for a long time. So when I release these courses, I release them, people purchase them. That's a way to make money, right? So these paths are going to be very simple ways that you can start to develop a business, right? Which again means these days could just be making a course on your passion, whatever it is that you're good at, and putting it out there to an audience that's following you, that likes you, that knows, likes, and trusts you, and is, meshing with you, your personality, who you are, and they want more from you. Because every author is different. Every person is different. You might watch my video and you might think, wow, I hate this guy. I'm okay with that. I'm not for everybody, right? And I do the same thing. I don't normally think in terms of that, like I hate this guy, but I'll go onto YouTube and be like, that person's not really for me. This person's not really for me. So you kind of, pick and choose who you're looking for. And that's one of the main points, just to kind of sneak this in, is that even if you think you're not good enough, there's so many other people doing it out there already. I mean, there's so many people in the market that I'm currently getting into now on helping others start an online business, to be an online kind of digital CEO. There's tons of people out there doing it already. Do I care? No, because I'm looking for a specific niche of people, specific creatives, whether you're an artist, and I'll kind of want to define this a little bit more in just a second, but musician, artist, dancer, even if you don't have kind of like some sort of artistic side to you, you don't have to kind of be this amazing performer or anything like that. But even if you feel like you're a creative person, like you're just meant to do more in life, you may have a desk job right now, you may be working a job and you're not feeling fulfilled, you're not feeling enriched, you are probably a creative person. I have friends, very, very good friends that I love to death. They've been my friends since kindergarten. They go to work, they punch in, they punch out, they work 40, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. They make a certain amount of money and they're totally fine with that. They love it. They love the consistency. They love the security. They love everything about it, right? Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say like they're not creative people, but like that lifestyle, that way of being in life about just punching in, punching out, they're fine with doing that for the rest of their lives. There's some people out there. And if you're watching this video right now, you're probably not that person, okay? So hopefully I've kind of shed some light on that definition. But essentially, because of all the other authors out in, I say authors like book authors because it's kind of how I think about it, but there's so many people on YouTube, so many podcasters, right? Putting content out there. They're trying to, they're helping people do the same thing that I'm doing. And I don't care, right? Because I'm a different type of person. So again, just a little side point, always believe that you have something unique to offer because you do. Your DNA is unlike any other person on the face of the earth, and you should always remember that. So it doesn't matter if you're passionate about fishing, running, and again, like I just said, you're a person who doesn't want to just punch in and punch out for the rest of their life, then this could be for you. All of my education that I'm going to be giving in this podcast and my courses on my website, it could be for you, okay? So anyway, back to the 4 paths. So these 4 paths are constructed through, again, my experience, what I've gone through building Jazz Piano School, building my business, educating myself, and it really comes down to these 4 paths, which is, it's kind of amazing because it makes it so simple, it makes it so easy to follow, and it's like, wow, it's just one of these or multiple paths. I have a couple different paths running at the same time right now as you start to get more advanced in your business and things like that. But anyway, here they are. So go to brendanlow.com/4paths to get this free resource where it breaks down the 4 paths that I'm going to start to talk to you about. And you can hear so much about them actually on the website, because I went into these 4 paths in detail before I was even doing the video, before I was even settled on a brand. I kept thinking I was settled on a brand, but anyway, you can listen to all that. But I'm going to be doing it again because they're so important. So in no particular order, path number 1 I'm going to be going over is a course, developing a course. Now, like I just said, there's so many different types of courses these days. Education, the online education industry, is a billion-dollar industry, and it's not going anywhere. It's growing extremely fast. And, I don't even remember I can't keep track of the number that it's at, right? But, it was like $5 billion last time I checked. It could be like 10, it could be 100 at this point. Even before COVID, even before all that nonsense happened, right? Where we had to stay indoors and we were learning and things like that. I mean, so much stuff went online during that period, but even before that period, right? In the market, in business, this was already happening. This was already beginning to happening. I started jazz piano school about almost 10 years ago, and I was still a late bloomer. I thought I was a late bloomer, right? So back in about 2013, 2014, and people had already been starting online businesses for education way before that. And when I say this, I mean developing courses to help people, train them in different types of things and sell them to people online. So again, I was a late bloomer. This has been going on for years. It's not going to stop. It's just going to get bigger. So the first path I want to go over is course development. Now, there's a lot of things that come with this, right? There's a lot of things that you may be thinking to yourself at this moment. What course do I build? How much should it cost? How do I build it? All these different questions will come up. I do not want you to think about that right now. The whole goal of this first podcast is just to get the 4 paths down in your mind so you actually know what they are. That way you can start to think about what your best option is going to be. And I'll give a recommendation out in just a second. But that's going to be the best way to do this, right? Just think about what option is going to be best for you and how you want to move forward. And in the guidebook, the resource, when you go to brendanlow.com/4 paths, I actually break down the pros and cons, what they're going to give you. I'll go over a little bit of that today, but I really just want to explain them to you. So these days, there's so many easy ways to develop courses. There's so many websites that allow you to develop courses very easily. You can just film your videos like I'm doing right now. Obviously, smartphones, with the invention of smartphones, we all have amazing video cameras. Like, look at the quality on this new iPhone, right? It's ridiculous. And I used to think I needed a DSLR. I don't even need that anymore, right? If you buy an iPhone, an Android, Google phone, whatever, these cameras are just like off the hook, ridiculous. You can just use your iPhone. You can film. Obviously, I have a better sound system for my mic talking for this podcast, but you don't even need that. You can use headphones. You can do all that. And you can start to film your course material, create a course, and literally start to sell it on Teachable, all these different ways, Kartra, Kajabi, and just start to sell to people, right? And I'm not saying you're going to make like a whole bunch of money immediately or fast, or even fast for that matter, but it can happen. The possibility, the opportunity for that to actually happen is right there for you right this second, right now. And all it takes is a little effort, a little work to put into what you're doing, what your vision is, right? For who you want to help, the business you want to grow, the courses you want to put out there to teach someone or help someone. Now, just to give you a couple examples, I mean, some of the clients that I work with, some of the people that I'm helping right now, they're developing courses, and I'm a musician. If you didn't listen to the first podcast, go check that out. I'm a musician. I've been at, obviously, jazz piano school. I've been a musician my entire life. I started playing piano when I was 4 years old. And a lot of my clients and the people that I work with are some sort of creative like that. They're doing different types of things like music. They're doing art. Again, they may just be working a desk job. They're looking for their creative passion. They may know what it is. They may not. But one of the clients is doing an inspiration-based course, right? An inspiration/motivation-based course where, a lot of times, even myself, I find it hard, and I'm sure you do as well, to get motivation, get inspiration. How do we conjure that up when we're not feeling like we want to do something? Because trust me, I've been in business for, like I've been saying, for almost a decade. There are so many times where I do not want to film a video, make a piece of content, write an email, do whatever. There's just so many times where you're not going to want to do the things that you have to do to alter your life or change your path that you're on or get out of whatever it is you're in, right? To change your life, to get out of your job, to make more money, to have more time. And you just have to figure it out. You just have to figure it out. You have to figure out, like, how can I make inspiration happen? How can I make myself be motivated? And I have my own personal skill sets that actually is probably a great podcast for me to do later on, is like, how do you conjure that up? But I should just recommend my client's course to you, right? So anyway, you can go buy his course, and he's teaching how to, right, conjure up this inspiration when you get out of the bed and you don't want to get out of bed, when you don't want to do anything in life, really, how to, like, just bottle motivation, open it up, drink it, whatever, if you could put it in a drink or something like that. And that's his course. And I mean, literally online these days, there's courses on everything, absolutely anything. So I promise you, right? Okay. Repetition sinks in. You got to trust me here. So there is something that you can help others with and teach others that they want from you. I promise you. And trust me, I've seen it over and over again. I've been working with clients and I've done coaching groups and things like that for a long time. Before I actually started this business, for a little while. So I've seen a lot already. I've helped a lot of students change their life and build businesses and make different types of income that they've wanted to make. And so I've seen it happen. Like, most of the people that come to me, most of the people that work with me don't really know what to do. And they think they're not good enough. They have doubts. They have insecurities. They think they don't have anything to teach. And boom, right? Couple sessions, we talk it out, we work with it. I have them go through some exercises. They're like, oh my God, how did I not think of this? And to be honest with you, even before I started jazz piano school, I tried so many different things. I tried real estate, right? Now, the only thing I knew was that I didn't want to be a punch in, punch out person. I didn't want to be that person. I wanted to live a fulfilling life. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to make money on my own time. I wanted to be able to take a nap in the middle of the day if I wanted to. I wanted to be able to wake up late. I wanted to be able to go to the gym if I wanted to. I just wanted the freedom. And that's the only thing I knew. So I was determined to try a bunch of different things. So I tried real estate. I tried multi-level marketing, selling phone lines. I tried flipping houses. I had a brick and mortar business for a little while on resistance, flexibility, and strength training. And, all of these things, they didn't fit for me. They didn't work. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought to take my number one passion in life, piano, and then combine that with starting a business? And then boom, Jazz Piano School was born and I got into business. Now I'm doing this. It's just, it was destiny, right? And a lot of the times it takes something else to get that out of you, right? So even though you may not think you have anything to give, you may not think you have anything to help others that people want from you, that people want to learn from you, trust me, it's in there, okay? So courses are amazing. Now, just to go over the pros and cons in courses, the great thing about a course is that it's passive income. So you can put a course online, you can set up your funnels, your email marketing, so on and so forth, your audience, and people can continuously buy your course and you don't really need to do much after that. And I know that sounds like the dream. I don't want to kind of, what's the right word? Fantasize it, I guess. I don't want to kind of just make it seem like a fantasy, because you do have to do work. Obviously, you have to kind of keep checking in on a lot of different things, but it can provide you with so much time. A lot of the people that I'm going to have on the podcast as guests, you'll hear more from them. That's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to that. They'll tell you how they built their courses, how much they work, what it took, effort. But like I was saying, I mean, you can put this thing up on the internet, which has billions of people using it, right? And people can buy your course and you can make money. You can make a lot of money, more so than most jobs in America will even pay you, which is absolutely crazy. So if you have the determination, if you have the resilience, if you have the fortitude, if you have the dream, right, you can truly do anything that you want. You can make your life whatever you want it to be. Okay? So that's going to be number one, courses. Now, like I said, pros to courses, that it can be passive income. The cons to it is essentially it can take a lot of time to build it up front. Up front, it can take a lot of time to build. But once you get it going, you don't really have to do much with it anymore. And the courses, obviously, all of these things really require an audience. But if you do, you don't really need a big audience to start. But you can kind of, it is helpful if you have more of an audience to start. So courses, okay? Number two is going to be some sort of recurring revenue model. And I call this the membership path. These days in life, it's so funny. The market is completely shifting. So the market's completely shifting. And these days in life, everyone wants you to sign up for a subscription. Do you remember back in the good old days when we could buy something and just own it for life, right? We just owned it and we didn't have to keep paying monthly. That's gone, my friends. That is gone. And do you know why? Like right now, the recurring revenue model of subscriptions is booming due to a couple of these reasons I'm about to share with you. Number one, security, revenue security, right? So Jazz Piano School does offer courses that people buy from me and the business, but it also is a membership as well. And obviously you're probably part of a lot of memberships. I'll probably develop a membership for this. I'm not really sure what that's going to look like. I'm going to start with courses first, but memberships allow people different types of things. And number one, for a business owner, security. So you can really easily project what your revenue is going to be. Let's say you have 100 subscribers, right? Paying, $10 a month. Okay. So you're going to be making $1,000. And next month, you can pretty easily say, okay, well, I had 100 people this month. You may gain a couple, you may lose a couple, but for the most part, it's not going to be like 50 people cancel their subscription or 70 people cancel subscription. And next month, you're only going to make $300, right? So you can really accurately dive into the numbers and the key metrics in your business and have a really good future forecasting on what your revenue is going to be. That easily allows you to spend some on marketing, spend some on development, make upgrades, who knows, right? But you can plan all of this out, and that security for businesses, trust me, it's like, it's magic. So they have all these subscribers. They're making millions of dollars off all the subscribers. They know exactly what's happening, how many members they need, how many cancellations they have, so on and so forth. It's a great thing to have. Now, besides that, memberships give a lot of times access to different things, right? If you buy some course that I'm going to release in the future, you're going to get the course materials, the course videos from me, but you may not get access to me. You may not get like updated content. You may not get inside behind the scenes, maybe some live calls from me. You'll just get the course material. It'll be a self-study course, right? Memberships can provide you with the ability to gain access to people, gain access to different kind of modalities, learning things, tools, all that good stuff. And so it's a different format of learning. And so essentially, as a business owner, the memberships can be more expensive or they can be less. I don't want to go over price points that much right now, but you can start to, say, okay, my membership, let's say I start with a course. People buy my course, and let's say they want more. You can, right, move a customer into a membership after a course. Meaning, okay, they took your course, but they still want more from you. They want to learn more from you. They want to engage with you more. You have more to offer them. So then they go into your membership and they can interact with you. Now, this is also a great example of utilizing two paths. So in this case, we're utilizing the course path and the membership path together. So we actually have two income streams coming from the courses that we create and the membership. Okay, that's what I meant before when we can utilize different paths together at the same time. But you can also do the opposite. You can have a membership, which leads into a course as well. So there's different types of models and variations of this. But again, the pros of a membership are going to be that recurring revenue where you don't have to kind of plan out what the revenue is going to be. And the cons to a membership is, again, like anything, can you imagine if Netflix was not releasing new material, new videos, new movies, new shows inside of Netflix, and you watched everything? They wouldn't have a business, right? They wouldn't have any business because you watched everything. You're like, well, okay, I guess I'm done now. You'd cancel and you go do something else, right? So memberships require constant upkeep. They require constant support. They require constant new material to keep the members happy in some sort of way, whether that's engagement, live support, live calls, new courses, new modules, new master classes. You got to keep providing new Netflix shows and movies. Otherwise, people will leave and cancel. So even though it does, it does grant you the stability of the recurring revenue, it's going to require that upkeep, customer support, your members, they're going to have questions, things like that. It's much more hands-on, but it does provide you with that amazing recurring revenue, okay? Path number three. This is going to be some sort of program modeled business where you have a program. You could have clients where you're working with clients, or you could do coaching. Okay. So a lot of times in the business industry, if you want more information from me, right, and you want to get into the nitty gritty details of your life and what business you can start, right, you may want to speak to me personally. You may want private coaching from me, and that would cost a certain amount of money. Right? So this is going to be path number 3 where you can offer this. Now, believe it or not, private lessons as an artist, as a performer, as a creator, as a pianist is path number 3. You may not think about it like that, but it is. It's essentially your time in exchange for money. You're giving private lessons, okay? Now, in path number 3, you can do one-on-ones, you can do group coaching, and you can do program coaching where it's like long programs, maybe 3 to 6 months, like camps or boot camps, right? And so all of these different ways are essentially ways to make money. Lawyers do a lot of this, obviously, right? They take on clients. This is all kind of like coaching and helping, consulting. This all falls within category number 3. This is not passive income, okay? One of the cons to path number 3. And again, I'm not kind of going in order based off the 4 Paths guidebook. So I'm not really sure where. It's just, these are just all random order. But if path number 3 is like membership in the guidebook, don't be confused. I'm just calling out the numbers as I go through. But it's not passive income because you have to be there, right? So for me to help you, if you're one of my private clients, I need to hop on a call with you. I need to talk to you. And that requires my time. So normally, the path number 3 is going to be the highest investment, or the highest product that you have to deliver to someone, because again, you can get information from me through my courses, my membership. But if you actually want my personal time that's taken away from other things, and you want to hear my plan for you, you want a customized plan, customized roadmap from the horse's mouth, That's going to be the highest price point, the highest investment for you to make, because you get me one-on-one, right? I'm going to have my complete and undivided focused attention on you, helping you, and, guiding you down that journey of business, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So group coaching, that would be one-on-one client. Group coaching is going to be another way to do this. Now, one of the examples that I give all the time, which I help clients with, and it's just the easiest thing to do, and it's in another resource that I'll talk about later, but if you are a private teacher of some kind, right? Anything like cooking, dancing, piano, any sort of music lessons. If you start to teach lessons in a group style format, let's say you're teaching one student for 1 hour and you make $50, right? So $50 is like an average number a musician would make. If they have a degree, they're teaching a private lesson, they'd make $50 for that hour, right? Which is just dirt cheap for the amount of money that musicians pay. I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for my jazz piano degree, right? And I paid a lot of money for my business degree. I don't obviously have a business degree, but all the experience, all the courses that I paid and invested in for my education, the experience that I've gone through in the last decade, that costs a lot of money as well. So to charge $50 an hour, it's just like, oh my God, it kills my soul. But anyway, that's for another time. That's my soapbox. But if you take 10 students and combine them into a group or a camp or some sort of program, right? You are literally 10xing your income for that 1 hour. So instead of making $50 an hour, you're now making lawyer rates, $500 an hour as a musician. And I truly do not know. I do know, I shouldn't say that. I see musicians and artists and any sort of person that's in this situation where you are teaching some sort of private one-on-one thing. You're always giving your time, and I used to do this for money and to one person. And that should be your highest price point because they have your undivided attention. But like I said, you can 10x your money for that 1 hour just by combining. Now, what a lot of us start to think was, well, why would they want to learn? Why would students want to learn in a group experience instead of getting my one-on-one undivided attention? There's lots and lots of pros to learning in a group, to learning being within a community. I just ran a program recently through Jazz Piano School last year called the Accelerator Program. I run a lot of programs. Again, this is path number 3, so I'm combining all 3 paths that I've talked about so far within Jazz Piano School. And I ran a program, and one of the number one things that I never thought, like when I first started running programs a while ago, people would start to say this, and it always just it just made me laugh because it's not what I expected at all. The number one thing they got out of the program, obviously they loved the teaching, they loved the education, but it was the sense of being around others in the same exact position that they were in and knowing that there are others around them doing the same thing that they're doing, struggling the same way that they're struggling, making progress in different ways, seeing other people's progress, how they make progress, what they had to try, what they did, and just relating to others in the community or the group that made them feel good and fulfilled. It actually wasn't the education, which was so funny to me and just revealing in so many different types of ways, but it was the sense of community. It was the community that they loved. And they're like, we're never going back to private lessons because you feel so alone. You feel so isolated. If you have a teacher that's, if you're lucky enough to have a teacher that's nice to you and is very helpful, then that can be great, but sometimes you don't have a systematic and organized, structured teacher. I always love to teach in the most systematic, organized way, give action plans, actionable steps that you can take quickly if you are thinking about becoming one of my clients or signing up for one of my courses. But if you are lucky enough to have that, that's great, but a lot of people don't. So a lot of us, including myself, when I used to take jazz piano lessons, one of the big reasons I started Jazz Piano School was because when I would go to take lessons, I wouldn't really know what to do when I came home. And I was paying a lot of money, well over $50. I was paying $75, $80 for the hour for the hour, right? And for me to not come home and know really what to do or what to work on to get better. And at that point, I was like, am I stupid? Like, am I the dumb one? Can I just not learn this material? And even you right now, you might be able to relate to that experience, which shows the power of community. Like hearing me say that for you, you might be like, wow, he actually went through that too. I did, right? And so that can be that's a terrible feeling. It can be isolating. You can start to have doubts. Your confidence can diminish very quickly. And you can start to believe that you weren't born or like meant to do the thing that you're pursuing, whether that's piano, business, whatever passion you have in life, running, personal training, who knows, right? So that's a terrible thing to have happen to you. And by having community around you with these group coaching programs or group teaching programs, educational programs that you can create for your students, you can really build a sense of community, and you can create this amazing feeling within all your students because they're surrounded by other students doing the exact same thing that they're doing. Okay? So if you think it's not for you, trust me, the students will love it. Try it out, and it's an amazing way to go. Okay? That's going to be path number 3 again. And I'll get to that in a second. Path number 4 is going to be your personal artistry brand, So path number 4 I had to develop because for the most part, I would say 90% of people or businesses fall into one of these things. The online business world, like obviously selling a tangible product, I'm going to get to that in just a second. But your personal brand or your personal artistry brand, as I call it, would kind of be the selling and creation of a product. So if you guys watch Shark Tank, obviously a lot of people are selling products, selling gardening tools or pet toys, things like that, pet food. This is a personal product, a personal brand that you're developing and selling. Now, when I say personal artistry brand, what I mean is that you're essentially selling yourself or some sort of product. Now, it may be your music, it may be your performance, if you're a performer. And I have clients that they don't want to sell courses, they don't want to build memberships, they don't want the tech stuff, right? But they want more freedom in their life. So how do they maximize the skill set they have, which may be music? Obviously, I work with a lot of musicians being one. It may be writing. It may be, there's a person that I'm thinking of right now that is been in the education world. They're kind of thinking about retiring. They don't want to just keep teaching, but they want more. They don't want to do courses. They don't want to do membership thing. They don't want to keep group, they don't want to do the teaching or the group coaching or program. So it's like, what do they have? What can they do? This is exactly where path number 4 is going to come into play, because what they're going to do is literally develop their own personal brand, which is themselves. So great examples of this are motivational speakers, musicians that perform. Obviously, they want to do more performances, tour, things like that. I'm interested in doing some speaking. So my personal brand is myself, Brendan Lowe, and going out and developing, right, this kind of thing where you are collaborating, making money for consulting, speaking, master classes, maybe like a 3-day stint at colleges, high schools, universities. So it's your personal brand. It's your personal artistry brand. And it could be a product, right? It could be a product. If you have some sort of insight or invention that you want to make, this could be it as well, right? But essentially, number 4, what this looks like for a musician is essentially going to be their artistry, their performance, right? So someone is a musician. So many times, obviously, for jazz, I play jazz. I play a lot of things, but jazz musicians, obviously, most people think of them as not making much money, but it's my job to help you maximize your business, your music business. Because make no mistake, you can think of music as just like going to a coffee shop and making $10. Or you can treat it as a music business. Now, a lot of the ideas I fed my musician clients and a lot of the guests that are going to come on the show, which I'm so excited to highlight because they have created full large-scale businesses. I don't want to say large-scale, but just full businesses to optimize their income, their exposure, and their personal artistry, which is like playing the piano or getting their band out there, making more money through other different types of avenues besides just performance. There's so many ways you can go. And these days, obviously with Spotify and streaming for music, that's not making musicians money. They get paid like 1/100th of a cent for that stuff. Like my Spotify streams as a musician, that's not where my income is made, but where it's made is through merch these days. Musicians make a lot of money off of merch. They make a lot of money through sponsorship, right? Through obviously performances as well, but different types of upgrades and things, different engaging offers that they can add on to their tour or their performance. So many different things, behind the scenes, private concerts. There's all these creative, right, freedom ideas that I give people and that musicians and artistries and any sort of creative can use to make money from whatever passion that they have, right? Whatever it is that they're doing. And this doesn't require an educational outlet like developing a course or developing a membership, right? Or coaching or teaching. This is from their performance, living through their passion. Now, that's going to be all 4 paths. I want to kind of give a disclaimer, and I'm going to give my personal recommendation. Path number 4 is the hardest. Path number 4, if you're looking to gain more time, gain more freedom, gain more money from whatever it is you're doing, if you want to make more money than you're making now, 6-7 figures even, believe it or not, path number 4 is going to be the hardest, okay? Now, the reason for this is because it does take a long time. You are utilizing the internet, but your performance and your artistry is a certain type of thing. It's a certain type of path where you are trading your time. You do have some products. You can do that kind of thing, but it does require a lot of your own time, and it takes a long time to grow that side of the business. But once you do, trust me, the guests I have on here, you're going to be like, oh my God. Path number 4 is the hardest. The first path I talked about, number 1 and number 3 are going to be the easiest. Now, the difference between number 1 and number 3, and now when I say path number 3, I mean kind of the group coaching or lesson style, one-on-one teaching or one-on-one client, depending upon what field you're in. That's going to be the easiest for you to get started, right? Now, obviously, if you are working for a company and they give you clients, and a great example of this is as a musician, if you work at a studio, the studio provides you with clients, or I shouldn't say clients, I should say students, but you only make 30, maybe 40% of that. The studio is going to take most of your cut because they're doing all the legwork. Now, if you take on a private student, you can charge more and keep all of the money, which is an amazing thing. So when I say path number 3, I mean that. You can start to make more money by doing that, by having one-on-one clients, one-on-one students, even do the group coaching thing, the group teaching thing. And again, if you develop some sort of programs, like my programs can be 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. And a lot of times, students are paying about $2,000 to $4,000 for these programs because they're like college courses. They're going through a 6-month program for me. $4,000 is a deal. It's an absolute deal, right? For a semester of a college course, which is usually about 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months, that can be all the way about $6,000 sometimes, right? And they're not getting half as much as what I deliver, even a third as much as I deliver. You go to your teacher, you get in-class lectures. These days they do have some, obviously you get a textbook, but they do have some online accompanying materials, but barely sometimes, right? So if someone were to do a program with me, if you were to do a business program with me, right, you're getting so much more value. And if you were to create a program for your passion, whatever it is, maybe it's fishing, maybe it's running, right? Exercise, motivation, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's plants, who knows, right? If you have a creative passion and you're looking to change your life through that, you can create these programs to help others do exactly what you're doing as well. Now, that's path number 3. That's going to be the easiest thing to get started with because all it requires is just you. It just requires your education, your knowledge, and essentially your education. Now, developing a course is the other easiest way to get started. Like I said, there's a lot of different types of tools out there these days where you can develop a course. You can put it online like a website like Teachable, and it allows you to make money from the course that you've built. Now, like I said before, it is difficult to put the course materials together. If you're a procrastinator, if it's hard for you to start things, that can be very challenging. Very, very challenging. It's taken me about 3 or 4 times to even get this podcast rolling. And, knock on wood, I'm not going to stop this time. But if you go listen to the archives of the previous podcasts I've recorded for this business, I've tried multiple times to get my momentum and consistency going like I have with Jazz Piano School. And I've failed every single time, right? It's not easy. And it may not be easy for you. But as long as you keep going, as long as you keep trying, right, eventually you'll get the ball rolling. You'll get the momentum going. You'll find the inspiration and it'll happen. So developing a course is the other easiest way to start. So I'm holding up my 3 fingers. My 2 personal recommendations, to get started are going to be through the use of a course, developing a course, or through private clients or some sort of group teaching, group educational experience, group coaching if you are doing some sort of coaching, or group consulting classes as well. That's very popular as well. And by doing this, obviously, the courses will help you develop passive income, and the coaching or private clients, they'll help you increase your income as well. If you're doing private clients outside of a corporation that you're working for or a business, if you're doing them privately on your own, under your own business, you're going to make more money from that, and you're going to have more opportunities to build your business further than you would if you had an umbrella or a roof over your ceiling, meaning you're not being controlled by someone telling you what to do, what clients to take, where your time should be spent, what you got to do to meet deadlines, so on, so forth, etc. All right, so there are the 4 paths. Thank you so much for listening. Again, go to brendanlowe.com to check out all of the amazing free materials I have there. You can check out the archive. You can get the guidebooks and resources that I have available for you to get started. And soon enough, there will be some amazing ways to take a next step with me regarding courses, membership, and private coaching with me. So, hope you guys had a great time listening. I'd always appreciate a 5-star review and any sort of review if you enjoyed the information that I've given you in this podcast and you just enjoy the education in general. With that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you later.